Yeah, we'll start in 1 minute. No, this one should not disconnect actually. I used the wrong email ID earlier. Okay. Krishna, you got the point right here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So here, if you try to access EC2, okay. So we have given EC2 full access to this user, right? So he will be able to do anything on this EC2, launching instance, creating volume, cookies, and stuff. Whatever you can do on this dashboard, he would be able to do that. Okay. Any questions here? Krishna Snila? I just stopped.
You have given complete access to EC2. It is full permissions has been granted to him, right?
Yes, yes. There are, by the way, partial permissions as well. You can create. In fact, you can create your own policies. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this guy won't have even IAM access, right? So he won't be able to create any IAM user or something like that. Okay. So even if you try, there would be access denied actually. Okay. Yeah, right. You see, this particular user is not authorized to perform get account summary and all, right? So even though the page opens, but he won't be able to see anything here, right? Because we have not see there we saw one permission administrator access, right? If we have given administrator access to that user, this user, he would have seen all these things, right? Then in that case, administrator access actually gives all the permission to the user. Okay, but we don't recommend it, right? In any organization, there would be only one or the head of the IT operation. He may have only the root account permission or administrator access. The rest of others would be given only limited permission. First option, activate yeah, I'll come to that. So for now, we are just logging out from here. Okay, we'll log in as a root account because we need to go and create other user groups or this thing. Okay, so we'll sign in again as a root account. So here you see, whenever you get this thing, this is about IAM user, not root account. So for root account, you can click here, sign in using root account credentials. Okay, so I'm signing in, Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay. So this gives you recently visited services, so I can directly go from here. Okay. So now we have one user, we have zero groups, we have zero roles. Okay. Let's do one thing. Let's create a group first. Okay. Similar to user, see, this is why groups are important is because suppose you are an organization with say 1,000 employees, right? For every employee, you would not be giving separate permissions, right? You would normally make multiple groups, developer group, sysadmin group, sales and marketing group, and you will assign them appropriate permissions. Okay, and then every time you create a user, you just put them in a particular group. So you don't have to give them separate permissions, right? So creating a group is exactly the same way. You first give it a name. So let's suppose we are creating this for developers. Okay, we create a group developers. We give it a name, right? And then the second step is policies, right? What kind of policies your developers would need? Suppose you want Amazon SE2 full access, or maybe something like S3 full access. Suppose I want to give S3 is basically a storage service. Maybe in the next class we'll cover S3. Okay. So suppose I want S3 full access, and anything like DMS is your database migration service. So just for example, we are giving it three policies. Okay, two with respect to S3 and one with EC2. Right. So these three policies we have attached with this particular group. Okay, that's it. Right. So next time when you create a user, okay, suppose a developers came and joined your company, you can create a user, say Sunila, giving programmatic access. Suppose, okay, this time suppose we are giving only console access. Okay, and here I'm giving Sunila 123. Let's do it later. Let's do it later. Okay. This time I'm giving it required password reset. So basically I'm creating another user, but in this part, while giving the permission, I'm not using the existing policies. I'm this time going to use the group. Okay. I'm going to put Sunila in this particular group. Okay. So that's it. I'm not stretching any policies. So whatever policies are attached already with the group, all of them would be applied, applicable on your Sunila user. Okay. So for Sunila also, you will get a CSV file, right, with credentials 1. And if you open this file, there will be a major change. The change is that since we said we gave only console access, right? To Sunila, we didn't give any programmatic access. That is why she didn't get any access key and secret access key ID. Correct. So access key ID and secret access key ID, they are there only for programmatic access. Okay. So if Sunila user tries to log in through AWS CLI, she won't be able to do that. Okay. She can still browse through console and do whatever she likes using the console, but she won't be getting that programmatic access. She won't be able to use that command line tool. Okay, this concept will be more clear once we cover AWS CLI. You'll see that yeah, how exactly it is used. Okay. So now see the link is same actually. Okay, the same account ID is same. It's just that now you would be using Sunila username and the password would be different. Okay, got it right, Krishna?
Yeah.
Sunila?
Yes.
Okay. So
I can anytime download that CSV, right? It will be there.
no, actually,
Once again.
yes. This should be saved um, carefully. Okay, because once you lose it, you can actually do it, generate access key and secret access key, right? But the thing is, the process is a bit tricky actually. And in Office, if you are saying, then of course, right? You will ask your admin, AWS admin, he will give you that. Okay, but this is like
How can we log in this using programmatic access?
and that's what I'm saying. Programmatic access means you use AWS CLI tool. So we will cover that in a separate session. That's not a small topic actually. Okay.
Okay.
We need to have at least 2 hours with us if you want to cover that. Okay. So once we cover the foundation of it, we will come to that. Okay. Okay. So let's come back to IAM. So we know how to create a user. We know how to create groups, right? Now there are two more pillars. Okay. So see, since you have created IAM user and you have created groups, so all these two are green now. Okay. Let's make this green as well. So see, as an administrator of the account, you can enforce that what kind of passwords are allowed. Okay. So mostly it's already there. If you want to say minimum password length should be 6 character or 8 character, 10 character, right? Require at least one uppercase. So whatever you want, okay? It is your wish. What kind of IAM user password you want to enforce? Okay, so as a AWS account admin, you would like to have all your users to have a strong password. How strong? You can configure from here. Okay. So let's keep everything default. You can go and explore this thing, right? You can even set after how many days it will expire. Yeah, password expiration period. Okay. You apply the password policy. Okay. Only thing left is to make it green is activate MFA. MFA, you understand, Krishna?
So what is the full form of MFA?
Multi-factor authentication.
Single sign-on.
Hmm?
Do you mean single sign-on?
Yeah, similar to that actually.
Okay.
Okay, not, but it's basically a bit reverse. Okay, so you see, one way to log into your account is traditional way, like we are doing till now, right? Give it a username and password. But it's a bit of insecure, right? What if somebody gets your username and password, right? So another, this is extra layer of security where you can attach your mobile device with this account,
Okay.
right? So there is an app, Google Authenticator app. In fact, there are similar other apps who, I mean, you can attach your mobile to this using that Authenticator app. So every time when you log in, okay, you would need a code. That code will come onto your mobile. It's similar to like your OTP,
Okay.
but it will appear on the app, not as a message. Okay. Every time you open that Google Authenticator app, you will get a PIN code kind of thing, and then you have to enter after giving username and password. So every time you need to have your mobile with you if you want to log in here.
Like soft token kind of thing.
Soft token kind of thing. So Krishna, you must have used Citrix keys, right?
Yeah, RSA.
Yeah, RSA keys. So exactly similar, but rather than having that hardware key, this time the keys will appear on your mobile device in that particular app. Okay. So if you want, you can try that. In fact, my account, see if I want to, um, if I want to access to my account, I mean, this, if you are, why I'm not going for this, but you can try it by yourself actually. Okay. But this is how it looks like. Once you apply it, I'll show you. Okay. So if I want to do this, okay. This is my email ID and oops. Suppose anybody tries to access it, this is the extra layer. Okay. This authentication code comes on the app which is with me. Okay, this is your authenticator. Okay, so here I'm getting a number, 6-digit number. That number changes after every few seconds, every I think 30 seconds or something. Okay, so this is the extra layer of security that you have once you activate MFA. That's normally not needed, but of course, in an organization, you may have that kind of security. Okay.
Okay.
It is multi-factor authentication.
Multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication is applied at various places actually these days. Even your Google, right? Your Gmail account, you can activate MFA on your Gmail account as well, right? so that the problem is that you always need to have your mobile. If your mobile is switched off, you won't be able to log into your Gmail account. Okay. So Krishna, if you want, you can try it. I mean, all the steps are very intuitive. You'll understand how to do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So groups you have seen, users you have seen, roles will come back to it. Before roles, let's go to the policies. So we have already seen these policies, right? For example, EC2 full access, etc. They were all the policies. So see, we have 291 policies as of now. All these are created by AWS. Okay, so called AWS managed policies. Okay, so you can either use them or you can have your own policy. We will create policy. Before that, let me show you a sample policy how it looks like. Let's take EC2. EC2 full access. Okay, the one that we use. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so here if you see in the permission part, it's EC2 along with other allied services. Okay, as you'll see later on that under the EC2 dashboard itself, you get auto scaling, ELB, right? CloudWatch doesn't come under it, but when you say EC2 full access, there you get these 5 services. In fact, total there are 108 services. Out of 108 services, you are having you are allowed to use 5 of these services. Okay. To go deeper, you can check out the JSON object. So policies are there coded as a JSON object. So the syntax that you are seeing here, this is written in JSON syntax. You understand JSON, right, Krishna?
No.
So you know about XML files, right? XML files.
Sorry.
You must have seen .xml files.
Yeah, just on proxy, inbound and outgoing files, we used to see it, but never in in-depth knowledge on that.
No, we don't need in-depth knowledge of it, right? It's just that JSON files are JSON is basically a object notation language only, right? And it is used very often in various scenarios. Whenever you have to define some kind of configuration, these days people are using JSON. Okay, so it's a way of defining your configuration, like your XML files, right? XML files were used normally for interoperability reason, right? So that various components can talk to each other in the same notation. That is why XML was brought, right? Similarly, these days people are using JSON notation. So here in a policy is written in a JSON form. What it says is every policy is basically set of statements, right? So this is one statement, and every statement says that what are the actions, right? And what is the effect? Effect could be allow or could be deny, right? So here in this particular statement, what we are saying is EC2 colon star. Star means everything, right? So all the actions that start with EC2 colon, that means all the actions of EC2 are allowed over all the resources. Okay. Resource could be your hard disk volume, it could be your IP address, or wherever these actions can be applied. All these are called your resources. Okay. So this statement is saying that all the action which start with which comes under EC2, they're allowed on all the possible resources. Okay. That is one statement. Another statement is giving you allowing you to use elastic load balancing actions. Okay, all these things will come very soon. Maybe next or next to next class, we'll be using all these services. Okay. What I wanted to convey is that this is how basically the policies are created behind the scene. Okay, this is how they are represented, right? So when you say that, can I create your own policy, custom policy? Yes, you can do that. In that case, you have to create these kind of files. Okay, and don't worry. We can create it very easily. There is a policy generator. We can use that to create all the syntax for us. Okay, you're asking something?
No, I'm asking actually, you need to write this JSON file.
Yes, if you write, that's also all right. But this kind of files can be automatically generated. That's what we are going to do the next lecture.
By another revision 342.
No, in the AWS also. That's what we are going to do. Okay. So these are the already generated one by EC2. What we are going to do is we are going to create our own policy. Okay. Okay. So let's go and create our own policy. So for creating a policy, there are multiple ways actually. One thing is you copy syntax of a already managed policy, right? Copy it and maybe then edit it according to what you want to change.
Copy means the JSON copy.
Simple copy. We should. Okay. These are the various permissions, right?
Okay.
Various policies, right? Suppose we take again EC2 full access. Okay, I'm just every time taking the same so that we have better understanding. Right. So this you already have. Okay, EC2 full access. Now if you want to change something here, suppose you want a similar policy but without auto scaling. Right? You just
we can deny, right?
Sorry?
In that statement, effect at the effect instead of allow we can put deny.
Yes, that also is one way. Okay. So I just deleted it, the whole thing, auto scaling, right? So mine is now customized policy. I can give it a name, something like EC2 full access without auto scaling. Fine. So here I can write provide full access to Magellan EC2 except auto scaling. Fine. Change the description and you create the policy. Right? So if you search with EC2 full, you will see this particular policy. This is what we created just now. Okay? And this is customer managed policy. Right? So it's not AWS managed, we created it. So that is one way to create any policy. Copy, add or delete whatever you want, edit that policy and save it with a different name. That is one way.
Mhm.
Fine, Sunila? Sunila, you are still there? Hello?
Is a mute.
No, she's not on mute. Sunila, can you hear us? Okay. Anyhow, it's getting recorded, so I believe. Okay, shall continue.
Create terminal policy, create policy.
Yeah, no continue. Okay, so that is one way of doing that.
This policy action.
Policy action is a part of that. Once you have that policy, how you are going to use it, right? You are either going to attach it with user or group or this. So you have to select it and then you have to attach it. Once you click on the attach, it will ask you whom you want to attach. Right? What happened? And then you clicked somewhere else.
Okay, you cannot delete the Amazon inbuilt policy, you can delete your customer's policy.
We can delete. I need to see.
The customer delete.
That was disabled, right?
Right. So I think if you get your own policy,
Yes, we can delete that. Yes. Somehow it's getting clicked twice.
You could policy policies now.
Mm-hmm.
Directly it is taking it.
Yeah, actually, it's getting clicked twice somehow. It does happen when you are having this kind of remote control. Some command you do from yours end, Krishna.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oops. So ideally that previous page that you saw, right? User group
Yeah,
and
that
this.
should show that one.
Mhm.
That should show that one. That's
Ah, actually, AWS has a lot of bugs in their UI.
then listen to other things.
You should click on one, Krishna, and that's it. Attach policy. This is how you give extra policy to the users. Okay. Now, if you go to user Krishna, there you see that this policy has been attached. Okay. So here you see total access as well as administrator access.
Where is the attachment?
Sorry?
We have attached to this, right? Very
No, it's showing there, right? If you minimize this,
We remove that
okay.
auto
here we
fill.
have administrator access, right? So both these policies are attached to your user.
So
Okay, can you go back to policies? Click on the create policy. Yes, the second one is a policy generator.
Okay. What does this do?
Okay, so this is like a tool to create your JSON file, right? So when you are creating a policy, first thing you need to tell is what is the effect you want, allow or deny. Then second is you have to select a particular service. Suppose we want EC2 full access, that kind of thing. So in that case, okay, let me take the control, Krishna.
Yes.
So suppose we want to create something like EC2 full access only. How to do that? We will go here and search for EC2. Normally it is Amazon EC2. Okay. Then now this action tab, it is dependent on which service you have taken here. So when you change the service, all these will be the action corresponding to the service. So all these are the EC2 actions. So it's very wide actually. In fact, there will be more than 200 actions under EC2. Right? If you want to select all the action, you just click over here. Okay. So it will select all the actions. And resource name, for now we will put it here star. That is all the resources where whichever are accessible for EC2, it will apply on all.
Resource means hardware resource.
No, resource could be anything actually. Whatever even you are creating, even when you are creating a policy, that is also one of the AWS resources. Resource could be one of the file.
But this policy is already there.
Sorry?
Of creating this permission.
Sorry, Krishna, come again.
But this is already there, right? But again, what is the mean of creating it new permission? This
I'm not getting you what you are
Amazon
saying.
need to,
Your voice
Amazon
is
need
breaking actually.
Amazon need to service action all selected. It is already there. Is there anything specific need or business scenario? I'm not getting like why do we need to create it?
Yes, you are right. See, most of the thing you will always get in your AWS managed policy. You are correct in that sense. Okay. But suppose someday you want to create your custom policy, right?
Okay.
So in that case, you can come here and you can create your own policy. Normally, people won't need to create their own because they are already given how much 293 policies, right? 293 policies are already there.
Yeah, it's always start.
No, I'll tell you. Okay. Okay. So, so this is I'm just telling you the way to create policy. If ever you need, otherwise you can always go for the built-in ones. Okay. So similarly, we had for auto scaling, right? So this is one of the statement. Okay.
Okay.
We can also have auto scaling. This one. Remember, right, how EC2 full access looks like? It has auto scaling, all that
Yeah.
stuff, auto scaling, then cloud was ELB, right?
Yeah.
So let's make it only for EC2 and auto scaling. I mean, similarly, you can go for ELB, CloudWatch, all those services, right?
Yes.
If you go for next step, it will basically translate the whole thing in terms of JSON. Okay. So you're getting the effect allow action all the EC2 column star, that is all the actions of EC2, and resources all the resources. If you come lower, it is now about auto scaling. Okay. So similar to what you had in AWS managed policy, similar policies you can create here. Only thing extra which is coming is you can see this statement ID. Okay, so that is normal. Okay, this is basically sometimes used from within the programs. Okay, it is just to create a unique statement ID. AWS internally uses it sometimes. Okay, you don't need to bother about this statement ID. So you can give it a name, something like EC2 and auto scaling full access. Okay, I'm writing this same thing as a description as well. Create policy.
The policies of silent point to be taken from the admin box.
Yes. No, admin would be doing this, but this policy part is, you may not be creating users in groups, but this policy thing is very important, even as a user. Okay, as a developer or account. I mean, if you are using AWS, see, if you are using AWS, you will always be given a restricted set of policies. Okay, if you are using on EC2, normally you will be given the permission to access EC2 plus some allied services, right? But see, AWS, when you are using, you have access to more than hundreds of services, and a lot of services are very costly here. Okay, so you will never be given all the permission to use all the services. Suppose now new thing came out. Now you want to use suppose Lex. Okay, this policy, but then you need to check whether you have been given permission for that or not, right? If you don't have the permission, you can see the permission which you have been given, and then maybe request to your account admin that okay, I want to use this service, give me the permission. Those things you need to be aware of all these things. And who knows, see, basically whoever is using cloud, it's not like our old thing that there would be one account admin, right? If they are hiring you as a cloud engineer, they expect you to do everything. Okay, so you cannot say that it would not be my role, basically. And basically policies are one of the toughest topic in AWS. Okay, so they expect you to have full knowledge about policies. Okay, Krishna, any question here?
No, we are fine.
Okay. Now there are, we will come back
Also,
to, yeah.
also policies. Key policy. What we have seen AWS policy.
Third one is basically the most, I mean, if you want to write your own policy, right?
On JSON.
On JSON. If you are comfortable with the JSON syntax, you want to write on your own, you see the clean slate. Okay, you get the clean slate, you start writing. That nobody is going to do, right? Okay, so you can do that as well. Okay, so group, user, roles and policy, these are like 4 pillars in IAM. Okay, one of the most important. Rest of thing are there, but identity provider is something like your. I mean, again, this is pure system admin kind of stuff. Okay. Here, what happens is, suppose you are working in a big organization, right? So normally, rather than giving you AWS account ID and all, right? You may want to, they may want to provide their own organization's account, email ID, and password to be used to log in AWS to this account. Okay. In that case, they have to create provider. There are various standards here, OpenID and SAML. Okay, so depend on what organization, what kind of SAML, what kind of identity provider your organization is. This is just a standard actually. See, you are using Google login, Facebook login, right? So all of them are compliant to some particular standard. Okay, some of them are OpenID, some of them are SAML. And basically, these two are the most commonly used identity providers. Okay, so if you use them going forward, you need to verify. Okay, so your account ID, somebody who has designed your all those identity, they would have some files, metadata document that they need to upload. They have to verify that I am a valid identity provider. Once they do it, maybe then
The provider name is the company name.
yes. So if it is IBM, something like that, or depends IBM how IBM has actually, what provider name IBM has given. So it's internal matter, right?
Right. And one thing, now you create a provider. You say go to next.
No, I can't go to next.
Okay, because
Because I don't have a metadata
the
document.
metadata document will contain the email ID of every all the employees. Because
Really, I don't know actually. Okay,
because
because this is like people who deal with this kind of thing, right? When you are account manager of some email ID, they would have some kind of data here. That is what I know. That they will just upload that metadata file, and going forward they will.
because what will happen when you upload control provider. Now how an employee will log into? You told with their email ID they can log in, right? That's the
That's what I'm saying. After that, I really don't know. Okay.
Nitesh,
Because-
I'll be just back in 2 minutes. You guys please continue.
Sorry.
I'll just be back in 2 minutes, sir. You please continue.
Okay, sure. Okay. So, I mean, it is their own technical thing, so not very important for me. Okay. So,
because the encryption keys are there.
coming.
Oh, why you just click it? I thought it is part of policy. Then I realized no, that actually.
It's a different type
Yeah,
here,
different.
right?
Yes, I.
Okay. Okay, so again, similar to that, you have account setting and all. It's normal account setting, right? You have password policies. In fact, you have some more things here, right? What is the default region? I think, right? Security token services. Security token service is another, way to grant access. Okay, security token service. What happens here is that if you want to give access, suppose I have an AWS account, right? Now I want to give you access to my account for only 1 hour, something like that. So I can generate an token, I can give you that, and you will be able to access my account for 1 hour. After that, you will be.
When you create account, it's a token policy. You can configure that so for 1 hour.
Yes. When I create the token, you'll be able to do that. So that's a bit, again, not very much used, right? So
I don't know because you don't know what it is.
yeah. So there are, yeah, there are a lot of, that's what I'm saying. There are, more than 100 services, more than 500 products actually within
Actually,
AWS.
here in the private cloud, we more focus on the design data.
Exactly.
Here, this is completely different. Everything after onboard, after we create a like install everything deploy, then we part is list. That's the last part. The GUI where you create onboard you.
Yeah, of
That is-
course. See,
Here it is like
you,
our service.
you have worked as a OpenStack developer actually, right? So it was more of, see, even for administrator, OpenStack administrator, you take up pieces, right? You combine them and then you deploy, right? That is how private cloud works, right? Here everything is already built.
Yes, that's what they.
And there are so many functionalities.
Yeah, after that, how this understanding starting after that. The what is happening? It's a backend.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So credential report will basically have all the users' data, right? So again, if you think like from a system admin point of view, AWS account admin point of view, you need to have a Excel sheet where all the users are there, right? And all this. You can download the report. Okay. We have created 2, 3 users, right? So you can see the report for them. So again, as I said, it is more of user admin kind of thing.
One thing tell me, let's say I have a native application I want to migrate to AWS cloud. In that case, I need to create all the users, whatever is there in my application. Those things will be treated again in IAM here.
Yeah, you need to create them first. See, that's what if you have to do bulk kind of thing,
Okay.
right? Then you better go for AWS CLI. That will come later. Okay. So
We
this
cover those things in this course.
which
And cover you cover CLI, AWS.
CLI will cover.
It's just more of the migrating services.
Okay, then you have various encryption keys here. Okay, we should not go for the practical because this is actually chargeable. Okay, KMS and all. But I have compiled good study material for you guys. So you go to my github.com. Okay, you might want to save this link. Okay, take this thing as an assignment. Okay, and you read this here. In the last, you see in AWS S3 encryption basically. Okay, KMS. You can go for these two types of encryption and KMS.
Okay.
So these are basically write-ups. Okay, you go through them, right? So here all these things, types of encryption, etc. This is it. When to use what, and if you want to go further, you can go to these links that I provide. Okay. Okay. So these are various kind of encryption keys.
When you need to learn the report, you can manage keys.
Manage keys. See, if you are storing some data, going forward you'll see storage service. In the next class, we'll cover our S3 storage. Okay. In the S3 storage, when you are uploading some data, right, you want to keep it encrypted, right? So that nobody else have access to that. See, ultimately, when you are storing data, it is going to some hardware. Okay. Suppose you don't trust AWS. Okay. What if a person goes into AWS data center and copies all the data in his pen drive, right? What will happen then? Okay, so for that normally you would encrypt your data.
Okay, in data then actually, so this is software based where in okay we encrypt that and we have the key, we will give a key.
Yes, you study first. Okay, you study that article first, and then we can discuss.
Can we share that to our mail ID?
Yes, sir.
Till what time we will be session today?
Let's make it 4:30. Okay, so this is all here. Policies, roles. I think you should come again later. Okay, because it's a bit different. Okay, overview I can just give you. Okay, this is see till now when we talked about permission policies, permission etc. We were thinking in terms of that there will be a person, right? Whether I'm giving the permission to a person or not. Okay, role is a bit different. Here we are giving permission to a particular service. Okay, see, suppose you have an you are a user, IAM user. Okay, Lakshmi is an IAM user. Now I've created an IAM user Lakshmi, and I have given him EC2 full access. Right, I have not given him any other access. Right, but Lakshmi, if he's a good programmer, he can create an application, right, on and deploy it on his EC2, right, which is accessing S3, right. So you directly is not accessing this, right, S3 bucket. If you do that, you would be denied. But what if your EC2 is accessing S3, right? That is a security breach kind of thing, right? The same person is doing some nasty things and doing it programmatically, right? So that is why it is very important that the service that you create in AWS, that service itself should have a limited role. Okay. So the service that you create on AWS, you can restrict its permission. Okay. So in roles, what we do is we restrict. This is we restrict the permission given to a particular service like EC2. EC2 is one of the service ultimately, right? If you want to restrict that what this particular EC2 can do, then you create an IAM role and you assign that IAM role to that particular EC2 instance or some other service. Okay, got it right, Krishna?
Yeah.
We should come this for now you won't be able to appreciate the whole thing actually. Once we create EC2 instances etc., then we can come to it. Okay, so these are the various services to whom you can give it. Don't worry, we'll come to that. We can't cover the whole thing in just a single day.
No, but I understand. I just want to see that what it is.
Okay, so basically you are when you are restricting this particular service, so as I said, EC2. So you create an EC2 service role, and the next step would be again similar. You would be giving it various kind of permission, right? That what all it can do and what it cannot do, those kind of things. Okay, so we'll come back to this role later on. Okay. Okay, Krishna. So maybe we can conclude today here. I think that was enough today. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So for you, for everyone, actually, the homework is that you go and create all the things that we have done. At least one user, one group, one policy, right? You create and you just do log in through that user, try to access different kind of service, see whether you are able to access it or not. Those kind of things you do. Okay, you do your own hands-on. Okay. Other than that, please don't create any other service. Okay. because ultimately we are a free tier account. If you if you suppose create any costly service, you are going to be charged. Okay, AWS doesn't give any warning that we are don't create this service, it is costly. They'll just yeah, good thing is that
Yeah,
For,
it's free.
for
auto
creating the rules, policies, it will not be charged, right?
creating these things would not be charged.
Okay, which one you are saying about charges?
Charges other services, for example, there are so many other things like EMR, right? Kinesis. I mean, anything that you don't know, don't create actually.
True. Actually, the other day I was exploring, so I just
Mhm.
came back from the screen. Okay, let me check with you.
Sorry.
The other day I was exploring it. I thought, okay, let me first check with you instead directly
But
looking.
yes. So yeah, so don't create anything actually. Okay, you can click on these things, and if you want, suppose you wanted to know about Lambda, right? You can click over the Lambda. Okay, you'll see a short description about every service on the first page. Okay, how it works. You can go here, related service. Don't do things like this. Create a function.
Yeah.
Okay, that may be chargeable. In fact, Lambda is not. There is a limit here. In fact, if you want to explore it, okay, that could be a good point to start with. You go to this link basically,
Second.
/free. Okay, this have all the information about what is free and what is not.
Okay.
Right? You do explore this. Okay, there are various tabs here,
Okay.
so you can get a view that what is free here. Right, 12 months free. You select this tab and just read this page. Okay,
Okay.
it will exactly tell you. So even suppose EC2 is under free tier, but it is not unlimited EC2, right?
Yeah.
You are allowed to use only 750 hours. Okay,
Correct.
so likewise, as we cover the services, I'll keep on telling you what is how much of this is free and how much it is not. And going forward, you'll get a hang of it. But for now, don't create anything which you don't know. Okay.
Okay. Do you want us to stop our instances because mm,
Yeah, you may
policy?
want to stop it. Yes, you can stop it actually. Also, you do delete the users. Okay, let's come there because the session has been recorded. Okay, so it's better to delete all what we created. So how to do that? You just go to users, just click over them and delete user.
How does it matter? Like when these are not charged, what is the need for deleting?
Because I know your password.
Sorry.
I know the password of Krishna and Sunila.
Okay.
I can
Okay.
log in from here in your account and I can start as many EC2 instances as I want. And and then you have to pay the bill, right?
Correct. Okay.
Okay, so never expose your username and password to anybody.
Got it.
1 or more of these users have recently. Okay. Okay, so all the users are deleted. The rest of things are okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Since we had this, I mean, all of us knew your password, etc. That's why it was needed to be deleted. Now you can create fresh users and don't disclose the password.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, so we'll conclude it here. Okay, and we'll meet you in next week. Okay, I'm just pausing the recording. Then maybe you can go ahead.